Okay, I'm going to be making some General Tso's chicken, and you could do this vegan if you want to. Just replace the chicken with tofu and use coconut oil instead of butter, because those are the only two things I'm using that are not vegan in making this. So I already have some rice started cooking, and then I have my chicken here. I am going to get this pan heated up. I'll get both pans heated up. This one I'm going to be using for my bok choy and my cabbage. This pan I'm going to be using for my General Tso's chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and add probably about 4 tablespoons of sesame oil to that pan, and going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter to this pan. Now in this bag here, I'm going to add some cornstarch. Now you can skip this step if you are making it with tofu, or you could even do this step if you're making it with tofu. It depends on if you want a nice crispy, tofu usually gets crispy on its own, but if you wanted like crispy cornstarch outer part, then you could do that too. So I'm going to add my chicken to this bag, and then I'm going to shake it up to get the chicken all coated in cornstarch. While this pan's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my sauce. So I had minced up about 10 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to use half of that in my sauce. So about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic in my sauce. And then I have about 2 tablespoons of minced ginger, which I'm adding to the sauce. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce. I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. And I don't have any rice vinegar right now, so I have to improvise. I'm going to use apple cider vinegar, which should add a yummy flavor. So I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of red chili flakes. Now we need some sugar. So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. And it looks like our pans are heated up. I'm going to wait just a second before I start adding things to the pan. I want to finish this sauce real quick here. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to the sauce. And I'm going to just mix that up a little bit. I'll mix it up some more. I want to get this stuff in the pan before the oil gets too hot. So first I'm going to add some garlic to the pan with the butter. Now this is about 2 more tablespoons of minced garlic here. And now we can add our chicken to the pan with the sesame oil. garlic is getting nice and crispy. So we're going to go ahead and add our cabbage and bok choy. I'm going to take a lid and let that steam for a little while. Let's try and spread out this chicken here. Make sure it's got enough oil on it. Now let's try and mix up the sauce again. We want to make sure that it gets all dissolved. Now, one thing that I often make mistakes with is judging how much oil I should use when I'm frying Chinese food. So sometimes I can make really greasy Chinese food. But hey, we all love greasy Chinese food, right? But I tried to use less oil this time, so hopefully it does not turn out too greasy this time. Gonna mix up these vegetables. Now we could use a little salt on these vegetables here. Not too much, because there's going to be a lot of salt in the chicken, so we're going to just use about a teaspoon of salt on the vegetables here. And that will help them wilt down some more too. Now, of course, if you're cooking tofu, you'd want to fry it also in a little bit of oil and get it all crispy. If you want to see how to fry tofu, I will link a recipe down below where I fry tofu. But I'm sure you already know how to fry tofu if you're vegan, unless you're new at it. Vegetables are getting nice and wilted. Okay, I think this chicken's done enough that I can take it out of the pan. And now we're gonna add about 2 more tablespoons of oil to the pan. And then in this bowl here, I have 1 small yellow onion, a small piece of ginger, and a red and green bell pepper, diced and not diced, sliced. And I'm going to saute those real quick here. Okay, let's go ahead and add our chicken back to the pan. And now we're going to add our sauce. Our rice is done just in time. Fry these veggies here. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let's have some of this chicken here. Turn these all off. They're off. Okay. So there is our General Tso's chicken with garlic, butter, bok choy, and cabbage, and rice. Delicious meal. You wouldn't believe that we're in quarantine right now with how good this meal is. So yeah. Can't wait to eat it. I love Chinese food.